Today is April 6th, 2018, episode 11 of The Useful Idiots.
Shut up and sit down.
Shut up and sit down. You're listening to The Useful Idiots. And welcome back to The Useful Idiots.
A song cut out there really fast.
Yeah, I know. I have to fix that.
Oops.
Yes, production issue.
I like to listen to it for at least a minute or two after. It
As do I.
Keeps me pumped up.
As do I, but unfortunately I did lose the file. So in time I'll fix that, but we'll just have to deal with what we have.
The abrupt ending.
The abrupt ending's terrible. I was trying to talk over it.
Yeah, she always complains about the abrupt ending.
Doesn't she?
Oh, yes.
So welcome everyone to show number 11
of The Useful Idiots.
Useful Idiot Show. Or Useful Idiots, whatever you want to call it.
That's what we are.
Yeah. So we ended up leaving, what was the last topic again, Paul?
Tom DeLonge?
Tom DeLonge?
No, not Tom DeLonge. How could we forget Rand Paul?
Oh yeah, Rand Paul. Yeah, Rand the man.
Greatest man on planet Earth.
Yeah, he's doing some great things fighting for our freedom, which is of course one thing that's being completely lost. Where, Paul?
In China.
In China.
Not that they ever really had much of it. But
No, they didn't. Yeah, they haven't had it ever, as far as I know.
at some point in time, they probably did.
Yeah.
But whatever little they have now is going away in 2020.
Yeah, and they are starting a social credit score.
Yes, the
which
social
is
credit score program.
A pretty odd thing to even think about.
Wait. It's Orwellian. It's going to be a
common theme.
Common theme for today's
theme for the
show
show
here. Yes.
Yeah. So in case if anyone does not know what a social credit score is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a credit score for your social standing.
And everyone knows it.
And everybody knows it and does judge and punishes you based off of it. Or, I should say, punishes or treats you based off of it.
I don't know your credit score.
It's terrible.
I don't know if I could continue this podcast. I'm going to go away now because, my credit score. I've worked very hard on my credit score.
So we can't associate?
No, we can't
associate
be
with
friends.
each other? Yeah,
actually, that's what it's going to be like in China.
That's exactly what it's going to be like in China. And just so everybody knows what the Chinese government says, according to them, the goal of this program is to forge a public opinion environment where keeping trust is glorious. It will strengthen sincerity in government affairs, commercial sincerity, social sincerity, and the construction of judicial credibility. Now, that is a direct quote from Chinese officials. I don't unfortunately have the name, but he did say that.
When it said, what was the first thing that you said? That strengthens
sincerity in government.
Sincerity in government. That sounds like it means keep people in line.
Yeah. So here,
Orwellian.
It makes you actually wonder how this social credit score, which has an effect on punishing you as a person, actually can strengthen sincerity at all. I mean, it forces sincerity.
Well, you think there's going to be some people that just say, "Yeah, I don't give a crap about my social score," and they're going to just do whatever. There's going to be a part of the population that does that.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be some like that, but they're going to be a second class is going to be created, and they are going to be put into that second class because of the negative consequences that come from having a bad social credit score.
How is that? Now, that's not all that different from the United States, is it?
Yeah,
in a sense.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot while researching this topic.
If you and I, if we go and buy a car, you and I, or not together, but if you buy a car and I buy a car, and my credit score is through the roof, and your credit score is, if you get a loan, you're going to get a much higher percent for interest rate, and you're going to pay, $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever the number is more than what I pay just because of your credit score.
But it will be based off of
now it's based off of your credit score.
So that means
your
that
payment
I have to
history and your what else goes into a credit score? The number of credit cards you have, what your credit
total
limit
debt,
is, your debt, income ratio.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that go into it, but nothing compared to what the social credit score will be gauging. For
Every aspect of your life.
every aspect of your life, it'll be your own personal characteristics, different things that they're going to actually watch on the. They have cameras on every corner in China. They'll be watching everything you do, anything that you do that will be deemed as characterized as a bad citizen, according to what the Chinese believes that is. So if that's maybe, I don't know, not picking up somebody who maybe fell, that would be a bad characteristic according to the Chinese government. You would now be docked points.
Well, no, I was thinking too, like, you know how they complain in the United States about like Facebook. Facebook's been in the news about having your information. I mean, China openly. I mean, United States is kind of getting there as far as having all your information, but China, they openly all their websites, they collect all your information, then they share it with the government. So they already know. I mean, in the United States, it's not quite as bad. There are some people that actually are afraid of these things and they object. Like in China, it's already that's just how it is.
Yeah, that's widely accepted by the government as being this is how we run things, and you're going to like it or like it.
I mean, if we're in China, you and I, right now, like even outside of the social credit score system that they're going to implement, if I send you a text about the book 1984 or any other subject the government disapproves of, it will be censored, and you won't get it'll say censored, or I don't remember exactly what it says.
I can't read Chinese, unfortunately.
But yeah, it'll be blocked, and you won't see what it says.
Yeah, and that unfortunately is what happens over in China, and it doesn't happen here, as far as I know yet. We do have certain things, like in the European Union is trying to put in different types of laws right now that could censor, or sorry, not censor, but fine companies if you say things that that the government doesn't agree with you being able to say. So if they find it to be what they would deem a hate crime or hate speech, then they can fine the social media company that's allowing you to say that, and therefore,
like a Twitter or a Facebook,
or Facebook, forcing that company to eventually start to monitor speech and not allow certain things to be broadcast on there. In effect, kind of silencing speech and actually not allowing this. It's kind of a messed up system. We do have a couple stories of that already. We have the Count Dankula. If you don't know Count Dankula, I think I told you about him. I
don't know Count Dankula.
Oh boy, yeah, he is the comedian, the Scottish comedian who is a YouTuber and a comedian, and he posted a video that everybody can go on YouTube, type in Count Dankula dog, and it's going to pop up almost immediately.
His name is funny in and of itself.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But it is.
You can laugh about it, and he's a comedian, so yeah, it is kind of an entertaining name. But he taught his dog that every time he says "gas the Jews," the dog gives a zig hail. So it puts his paw up in the air.
Ooh, that's pretty.
It puts his paw up in the air every time he says.
That's pretty bad.
Every time he says "gas the Jews."
Did he do this bit in Germany?
No, he did it in Britain and posted it on YouTube, and he is now actually facing possible jail time in an ongoing legal battle at the moment.
Wow.
Because of the fact that they are saying that is a hate crime, teaching the dog to
wait, hold on a second. Teaching a dog something is a hate crime.
Yes.
A dog.
Yeah.
The dog doesn't know anything. I mean.
Yep. Oh no, the dog hates Jews. Yeah, you didn't know that? No. Yeah, the dog hates Jews. It says he actually wants to gas them. That's why he always.
Oh yeah, he does the zig heil.
He wants to gas the Jews. So yeah, that's one thing that we're seeing now. That was a YouTube video, and now we have people going.
You know, it's one thing if this guy does this bit and he says gas the Jews, and people get offended and stop going to his shows, he's gonna go away anyway. Like, he's not going to be able to do that for a living if that's the reaction that he had. The free market would decide solve that.
Yeah, you're right, and that's how it's supposed to be running. That's how markets work. If people dislike your product, they just don't buy it, or they ban it, or they not ban it, but they protest it, and then therefore you cannot make the money, or you have to change what you're doing or saying.
Right.
Change the product to fit what the people want. But that's not how it's working in Europe. He's still in, like I said, he's still actually going through the legal battles right now. They haven't decided, but they are saying jail time is the most likely going to happen. This will be a very big precedent if this ends up actually passing.
And you said this guy's is he American or he's not?
He's a
American?
Scot.
He's
He's
a
a Scot,
Scottish.
yeah.
So he knew what he was getting into.
No.
No.
He just wanted to mess around. He was pranking his girlfriend. He said
Okay, that was what was in the bit.
that was the bit. His girlfriend found her dog to be the cutest thing in the world. So in his mind, he thought, what is the ugliest thing that you can do to a cute thing? Have it salute Hitler.
Yeah,
that was the joke.
That is
it's a funny joke,
that
right?
It's funny when you explain the full context.
When you explain the full context, it's. I thought it was funny without knowing the full context, but I would pay to see Count Dankula, but that's me. And then once you get the full context, it makes it actually even more entertaining.
Yeah,
it makes you kind of actually respect the comedic reasoning behind it.
Comedic genius.
Yeah, exactly. Now there are other stories that we are seeing, and this is more of a social pressure issue, but a gentleman named Owen Benjamin, which if nobody knows who he is, he's another comedian who he actually made a Twitter comment during the whole transgender, that whole wave of transgender movements that we were just having.
Like a year or two ago?
About a year ago, yeah. And he did say that he finds it to be child abuse to allow your 3-year-old child to identify as transgender.
Yeah, I don't know how people can do that. Like,
that could be child. I mean, I don't know if I could agree that it's child abuse, but it's wrong. It's wrong in a pretty big sense. And I'm not going to get into the reasons why it is right now. This is not the show for it. We won't get into it.
That's another show.
It's a whole
for
other
time.
show, and we can go on forever about that. But the fact is that he did that on Twitter, and he actually had his comedy shows that were up and coming canceled.
Another comedian, huh?
Another comedian. They canceled his shows because of the pressure from the people on Twitter, because he had thousands of people attacking him pretty viciously,
saying what the heck are you doing?
Yeah, no, just calling him like a bigot, you know, because he of just expressing his view on Twitter.
Okay.
And then they actually hurt him financially for that. And it should be noted, this guy is actually a liberal, a very big liberal.
Well, it sounds like he was. I mean, you don't see too many conservatives doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's just two instances that we're seeing that already just having social media and pressure and everything ruining people's lives in a smaller sense, but these people are hurt pretty badly from this.
Well, wait till you see what they do in China with the social credit score.
Exactly. And this goes far. Now imagine all the depression and anxiety people have at this moment worrying about social media and their credit scores at this moment. Like,
it's all going to be mixed together in China.
Exactly. Now you're actually going to have an instance where your entire life is based around your social standing and your credit score. Those are the two things that are going to be deciding everything that happens in your life now. So the anxiety...
Well, it's not just... I mean, it's not only... Okay, it's going to be like what you do for work, how you pay your bills, who your friends are, what you do in your free time. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, I just got
what you do online.
So not much, right? not much of an effect.
Orwellian.
All right.
Big Brother. It goes far beyond anything George Orwell imagined.
Yeah. I would say so, because the technology is much further than Orwell probably ever imagined we'd have, or at least could picture at the time.
Well, everything. It's been a couple of years since I read 1984, but everything was microphones, and cameras and like there was a camera in your television.
There's a camera in your television, but it can only really see you and hear you if you were near that television.
Right. I remember there were instances where he was away from the telescreen,
and he was able to get away from the telescreen.
Do things. Yeah.
Well, that's not really going to be possible anymore, because you have family that are going to be turning on you. You're going to be having your phone's most likely hacked.
Yes, because the way it's going to work is if you're doing something wrong and I report you, my credit score will go up in China.
Yeah, and if you don't,
If you
both
don't,
our credit scores will
yeah,
probably
your
go down,
credit score will go down, and my credit score
which
will
will in
go down
fact
as
make
well.
yours go down as well. Exactly.
In fact, I think being your friend will make my credit score go down.
Yeah, which would make you actually cut ties.
I'm not
with
talking
most
about in
likely.
China. I'm talking about here in the United States right now. Ah, that was a joke. Probably not a very good one.
Yeah, it was all right. It was funny. So a few things I guess we should touch now. Do you want me to go into the history? Because there is actually a system in place right now.
You mean the pilot program or the...
Not the pilot program. There is a previous program, a program that was set during the Maoist era. So
That's
1950s,
still in effect now?
That went all the way through Mao, and then was still in place partially after he passed and he was gone. So it was called the Dang'an.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Dang'an.
Okay.
Yeah, Dang'an. You know, I'm not Chinese.
Are you
guys,
sure
so.
that that's how it's pronounced?
I watched enough videos where I heard people saying it.
Okay,
so
there you
Dang'an.
go. Ding.
Yes, it was a Chinese man who said it too in the video. But the Dang'an is it includes personal information such as your physical characteristics, your employment record, and a photograph of you, as well as more specific background information.
So wait, this is like a physical file, like
It's a
in
physical
a
file.
warehouse
Yeah,
somewhere
exactly. It's
in China,
yeah.
in the government.
Physical file, a dossier, or whatever you want to call it, portfolio on you, paper, inside of a warehouse. So it
I could
has.
see why 1984 is one of the banned things in China.
Yeah, right. Yeah, whatever.
Sorry, I don't mean to get you off track there.
You're trying.
No, I'm not. I'm just interested in this.
Yeah, I know it's a very interesting topic, and you're gonna have more questions and more stuff to say.
All right, I'll just sit back and relax.
Okay, so the more specific background information on any individual, such as the appraisals by supervisors and peers. So supervisors meaning your
boss.
your boss, exactly, and your peers, friends, acquaintances, family. Academic reports from primary school all the way through university, your professional credentials, and any criminal convictions or administrative penalties that you've had.
So this is in place already, right now?
Yes, they already have all this information on file of all their people.
So in a sense, this social credit score is nothing new to the Chinese.
Nothing new. Only thing is now is that they have the technology to fully embrace this as what they'd like it to be. Meaning that now they have...
Kicking it into overdrive
Kicking
kind of
into
thing?
overdrive. Now they have cameras that could pick up everything that you do. They have phones that could tap into every single conversation that you have. They have.
Are you talking about China or America?
China?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It sounds
Was
a lot
confused
like
there for a
America,
second.
right?
Yeah, not too far off.
Not too much of a difference, really.
Do they have microphones in a dishwasher over there?
No, I think that's just us. That's
Do
just
we got to do I think we should do a show about microphones in a dishwasher.
We'll
or
have
at least
to.
at least a quick segment.
yeah, because
There really are Go look in your dishwasher.
yeah, there's a microphone hiding in there. Even though it's might sound conspiratorial, I actually have read that that's true. I believe it. So call me a conspiracy theorist if you must.
It's just a little background here. Historically, I'm maybe more the conspiracy theorist out of the two of us. But Luke here, he sometimes he just randomly comes around on something that I'm like, I tried to explain that to you 3 years ago, and it just kind of hits you. I mean, that's how it was for me too. Like I remember watching like 9/11 was an inside job type videos, in like 2002, and like being like, whatever, man. And then years later being like, oh my God, it's all true.
Yeah, you also believe there's a flat Earth, right?
Believe is probably too strong of a word.
You just see where they come from.
I would say I entertain the idea. Like I don't just straight up dismiss it. I would say I've watched videos about it, on different levels. Like sometimes I'm entertained by it. Sometimes I really believe it and I think about it. But that was more like what I did in 2014. That was kind of where I was then. I don't really give the flat earth or round earth much consideration. I just try and live life by each day, and I try and focus on the show.
Yeah,
Ding.
and if anybody...
We need the bell sound effect, man.
We need the bell sound effect. We'll get that soon. But for anybody who feels like this show has lost a lot of credibility with that last statement, I just want everyone to know, that's Paul. I'm Luke. completely different man. All right, he is crackpot. I'm buzzkill.
Except my credit score's higher. At least until I made those comments about the flat Earth. Well, it's funny. I don't understand. Like, I know it sounds crazy that I even consider the notion of the flat Earth, but I mean, how could you dismiss what people say without knowing what they say? You know, like,
well, you have to entertain it. Yeah, you have to actually see the perspective and where their understanding comes from for the subject. And I just think that even if I agree with a lot of things they say, like government lies or we haven't seen it for ourselves, so how could we know? Great. Hey, man, there's a lot of I agree with a lot of things that they say, but that doesn't mean that you can throw science out the window and now say that all pictures or videos of space,
everything you see from NASA is a composite image. It's not really. It's not really an image from space.
We're going to talk about this after the show. Like we are.
I'm not saying that necessarily means that the Earth isn't round, but I'm saying that the footage that we see from NASA could be fake. Who's going to verify what they're sending us? What outside source can say, "Oh yeah, this is a legitimate picture of Earth"?
Every
what?
Space agency on every country of the planet. So you think they're all in collusion? Why do we no, we can't talk about it. Sorry, this is getting completely off topic. We have to get back to social credits.
We're getting back to China.
We will talk about this on a whole nother episode. All right, I promise.
Paul and Luke debate the flat Earth.
Yeah, we can talk about all these things in another episode, but this could go on for hours.
I didn't think that this is where we'd be going tonight.
Exactly, which is why we need to pull it back in. Let's rein ourselves in. And I can finish up on some things that are very important right now.
Come back down.
On in China.
We're going to come back down to the flat Earth, is what you're saying.
Yes. So this will be implemented, and we're going back to the Chinese credit score, a Chinese social credit score. This will be implemented by 2020 as a mandatory program.
It's in a pilot stage right now.
Pilot stage right now. We they are hiring 8 different agencies to test out pulling in people's information and finding out what the best method of giving credit scores are right now. The number one that most people are seeing is the one called Sesame Credit. It's one of the agencies hired by China, one of the 8 of them, that gives a score. Is
that an agency or is that the program name?
That's an agency. Sesame Credit is an agency. And it is going to be... they give scores based from 350 to 950 for your social credit score.
Doesn't sound too different from an actual credit score in America.
Very similar, exactly. Now, they use characteristics, and they have about 5 characteristics that they use, and these are very broad. Some of them are broad, some of them are a little more specific. So you have your credit history.
Makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. That one makes sense. Contract obligation fulfillment.
So what could that entail? Like paying your rent until a lease is up?
It would end up being if you have any a car payment or a lease payment, things of that nature, or even probably just a marriage agreement. I don't really know, unfortunately, because that would probably go into interpersonal relationships.
Speaking of interpersonal relationships, next on the list is personal characteristics.
Yeah.
And that's kind of broad, huh?
That's extremely broad. And how do
you determine someone's personal characteristics?
How do you grade personal characteristics?
Oh, they have to have some sort of standard, I would guess.
Yeah, and it makes you kind of wonder. That's
what your teachers say. And like that other system that Mao started. It'll be what your teachers say, what you do online, because they could track everything that you do online. An example I kept seeing is how much you play video games.
Yeah, you'll be known as an idle
person if you play too many
video games. And then they would say that if you were someone buying diapers, you would be known as a responsible adult.
Yeah, that's
responsible parent.
I don't know if I agree with that assessment.
I disagree fully with that.
There are many irresponsible parents that buy diapers.
Yeah, just because you buy diapers doesn't make you a responsible adult.
Or maybe you're buying diapers for someone you know. Like that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a parent.
Sure, exactly. So
doing somebody a favor.
Yeah, the system we can see is flawed, but that's of course they don't care. They believe that this is a system that they need to put in place.
Control.
They want the control. It has nothing to do with the flawed system. Government in general is flawed, and implementation of laws are flawed. But that does not stop governments from enforcing them anyways.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
And then the personal characteristics kind of bled into behavior and preferences and
Interpersonal.
that's what I'm trying to
relationships.
say.
Yeah. So with all those things, if you do have a bad credit score or a good credit score, you do have punishments that come from that.
Or if you're friends with shady people, even.
Or if you're friends with shady people, that would be interpersonal relationships. So the punishments could include, and they have many more than what I'm going to name, but just the specific ones that I know that I've already announced that they will have is slowed internet speeds.
Slowed internet speeds.
Which, well, we'll get into that, huh? So
Is that the worst of them all?
No, not whatsoever. At least not in my eyes. Maybe some people's.
Yeah, and
maybe
some
your
people-
kids.
In the 10-hour, the person that plays games for 10 hours a day, that slowed internet speeds would be a bummer.
Yeah, exactly. Be lagging everywhere. So then
Kind
they
of like
also-
when I try and play Fortnite.
Do you lag in Fortnite?
I did when I played it on the desktop, and then
Mm.
I played it on my iPad, and it played much better, which people didn't understand.
Even I don't understand that.
I think maybe because I might have downloaded the whole game, and then on the desktop, and then I tried to play it. We're getting really sidetracked here, but I downloaded the whole game on the desktop, so I'm thinking the file is very large on my computer, so maybe that has something to do with the lag.
No, that should make it actually easier. Usually games run smoother if you've had the entire game downloaded onto your.
I don't know. Maybe
laptop.
my desktop's just older. And
It is
the
that.
the iPad's only a year old.
Yeah, Fortnite it actually has. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on here.
I mean, I'm really. We talked about Flat Earth tonight. We talked about Fortnite.
Yeah, let's.
We should probably maybe we should do a whole show about Fortnite, because then we can get some hits. We can get some
We would
views.
get so many hits.
There's
We'd-
like millions of people playing that game.
Yeah, it will be like Ninja. If anybody doesn't know Ninja, look him up on YouTube. Ninja Fortnite, you'll see.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah. So there's more punishments. You have the denial of access to certain restaurants, nightclubs, and
Denial
golf courses.
to restaurants.
Yeah, they're gonna actually deny you to certain restaurants. Now, of course, I'm assuming that's gonna be 5-star, maybe 4-star restaurants. Nicer
Doesn't that
restaurants.
hurt the restaurant though? If I could afford to eat there and I want to eat there, don't they want my money? I mean, isn't that the whole idea of owning a business?
Well, communism doesn't really work in economics in general. So
I forgot about that.
So I don't think they're worried about economics here. I believe that they are purely just in the control of society here. Now we do have the one that I find to be.
I wonder if sorry, before you continue, if that's going to hurt businesses with the social credit score, because that's going to decrease the. I mean, of course they're going to get their right customers with the people with high credit scores, but it's going to decrease the number of people that visit these establishments according to their system of punishments that they have.
Yeah, devil's advocate could maybe point out that these people with low credit scores
Probably wouldn't go to these
couldn't even
places
go to these
anyway.
places. Exactly.
That's possible, but not necessarily true.
Yeah, exactly. So we won't know until this actually gets implemented. This is actually a good test. This really will be a great test on an oppressed people.
If you're listening to this and you're from China in the year 2020 or beyond, let us know in the comments about how your experience is with the social credit system.
We're banned. We're banned
Oh, yeah.
in China, man.
Probably
We're not
will
allowed in
be.
there.
But if you got a VPN,
They're banned VPNs as well.
oh,
Yeah. There's no way to.
it's crap.
Yeah, a lot of
Well,
stuff.
if you have some sort of system that we can't think about in the year 2018, and you're listening to us, let us know in the
Let
comments.
us know in the comments. Yeah.
Or if you escaped China, let us
well,
know in the comments.
There are people like that, and they are very unhappy with this law being put into place.
That's also travel restrictions.
Yeah. Actually, here, you see numbers 3 through 8, correct?
Yes.
Go on.
Travel restrictions, like you can't fly certain places.
Yeah, you can't fly as of right now. For the past 4 years, they've already banned I forgot the numbers exactly. We'll say about 6 million people from flying just because of social credit
6
score
million.
now. 6 million people
In
have
the
been
pilot program.
banned. In the pilot program, yes. 1.15 million are banned from trains at the moment for the same reasons, for social credits.
So is that the same people? Like the same?
Unfortunately, I'm not too sure. It could be the same people, could be two different separate groups.
Could be some bleed over into the other, but not necessarily.
Yeah,
Maybe.
But basically, we know that there are already people in place that are banned from traveling both plane and train.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could they ban people from driving their cars? Maybe. I wonder. Do they have the black? I wonder. I didn't see this in my research, but do they have black boxes in China already?
I'm not
Like
too
what
sure.
they keep talking about implementing here that track your miles.
I assume they have something like that already in the cars.
I wonder. That's going to be an interesting follow-up.
Yeah, it will. We'll put that in a follow-up in the next episode for sure.
Okay, and then they're also going to have restrictions on rental applications. You can't rent an apartment in certain areas because of your social credit score. That's not too different from America.
From a regular credit score.
In and of itself, from your regular credit score.
Yeah.
You can't buy a house, or you're going to pay more for a house with a low credit score in America. Insurance and loans.
Same thing as the rental. It already is kind of like that.
So you're not going to be able to get the best insurance?
Or maybe higher premiums.
Or higher interest rates on the loan?
Higher interest rates on the loans. Yeah, similar to the rental.
Social Security, they're going to deny you Social Security?
I'm not too sure how that one actually worked, and I assume that's what it is.
The people with the low credit scores, social credit scores, they might be the ones that need it the most. But I have no idea, zero idea on how Social Security works in China.
Neither do I, so.
I'm shocked that they even have it.
I don't know why they need it. I thought that they just spread the wealth out.
You know what else we should do on a follow-up show is see if does China have a universal basic income?
I don't believe they do, but we can look into it.
Because they say they're a communist system, but they're just more authoritarian than communism.
Yeah, they moved away from full communism a while ago. Probably, 30 years ago? Maybe 20.
I would just call them Orwellian and authoritarian more than communism. I mean, they're not exactly workers of the world unite. Or
they're more
like
of a social communist instead of more of a because they are capitalists.
For sure.
Yeah, they just
want to control every aspect of your life, inside and out.
Yeah,
they're probably watching us do this podcast live and in real time right now.
Yeah, probably somehow
through my camera on my computer in front of me.
Yeah, we know that NSA is already doing that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Who knows how many government agencies are doing that right now?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And you could also be forbidden to work in a certain job.
Mm-hmm, yeah, they'll restrict the jobs that you are given or allowed to work.
I wonder how that would work. Would the employer get like a message saying, "Sorry, you can't hire this guy," or is it just like you can't even the employer won't even get your application because it'll be intercepted before it gets it? I
think it'll probably get to them, but there's going to be a database that you probably have to look through.
Oh, like you run the employees through it. You mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and there's also another punishment.
Yeah, and this one's a big one for
any parents out there.
Parents, but more as an Asian culture in general. The Asian cultures in general, as far as I know, for China and Japan, are both very big in
schools.
Yes, exactly.
And you'll be forbidden for you to go to certain schools or your children to go to certain schools if you have a low social credit score.
Exactly. It goes beyond only you. It goes to you and possibly your kids.
I mean, man, some kid could be a genius and work his ass off, and his parents come from dirt poor scenario, and then he gets punished for it. I mean, man, that is messed up.
It really is. Yeah, I strongly agree with that. So, like I said, that's pretty much all the punishments that I know for certain at the moment. Now, there will be more as we get closer to 2020. They will probably start to reveal more
information will come out.
Exactly.
There's got to be, I would imagine, there'll be death for certain... no? You don't think they're going to put people to the death over this?
I assume they will.
Maybe not openly?
Yeah. Well, even probably openly. Yeah. Not too sure exactly, unfortunately. But... there's just to me this has got to be one of the worst programs, one of the most oppressive programs in the world, really.
Yeah.
Second to North Korea.
I mean, this sounds like something like we're reading this stuff, and it sounds like something from a dystopian science fiction novel.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Not that I read too many of those.
In fact, I told you that I watched that Black Mirror episode.
Oh, yeah. You said it's on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Season 3, Episode 1, in case if anybody wants to go watch it.
I actually do. I kind of kick myself for not watching. And there's also an episode of The Orville, which kind of parodies that episode of Black Mirror.
Yes, I've heard about that one too now, because you sent me that video.
I did. Ding.
Yeah. But doing the research...
Man, we need the bell.
We'll get
if you guys have a bell that you want to send us...
Yeah, we'll take any sound effects or anything at all.
A gong?
A gong. I want a gong.
Oh, yeah, we need a gong. A bell, And then I'm sure there's other classic radio bits that we could add to the show.
Yeah, awooga. Yeah, something we have one of those.
We can just record you saying that.
Just
and play that back.
I'll clip that later on. We can use that. Yeah, and I really am happy that I researched this because I actually see a lot of similarities to what we are moving towards in a free society, or at least what we call a free society.
What
in the
used to
Western
be a
world.
free society.
Yeah, and I would like to know that we're going to be able to at least look at China and be able to maybe learn from the mistakes.
You know what I think the difference between China and America, at least in terms of the governments, is? Ours are just, I don't know, more subtle.
Much more subtle.
Like,
Yeah, it's implemented.
China's just like, we're going to control every aspect of your life. In the United States, they try to do that, but they don't openly say it.
Yeah, well, they do it.
Well, they do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a little bit different there. But man, this is scary stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, hold
I mean,
on.
who knows what's going to happen here? And by the time we get to 2040 here in the United States, this is rolling out in 2020 in China. You know, in 10 to 20 years, this is going to be here in America. I mean, or at least in the EU. The EU will be the next step. I mean, like you were saying about that Scottish comedian, you know, like, man, he gets arrested for saying the wrong joke, and then, you know, when people hear. I mean, we already got people protesting the Second Amendment and trying to get that taken away.
Free speech is
Free speech will be the next to fall.
Yeah, and those are necessary
people
for a
don't
free society.
People don't understand that. Like,
Yeah.
once the Second Amendment goes, what's going to stop people from taking away the First?
Exactly. Yes. Well, exactly. And that's an extremely smart thing you just said.
You know, a stopped clock is right twice a day.
A broken clock. It's
Broken clock, stopped, broken, whatever it is.
Same difference, I guess.
Yeah, same difference.
Yeah. I think we should go ahead and do a show for the Second Amendment, First Amendment, and maybe what the founders even believed and why they did that at a later date, just so people can understand how necessary those are for
And
free
we
society.
could talk about what's going on here in Illinois in Deerfield.
Looks like we'll have to do that right when we come back.
We're back, everybody. Welcome back to Useful Idiots. My name is Paul, and Luke is here as well.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, Luke. So, you want to move to Deerfield, Illinois?
Yeah. Since I think we got pretty much the social credit score in China out of the way, let's just move on to Deerfield. And if we do have any follow-up for China,
If there's any more breaking news about China's social credit score and its implementation, we'll be sure to bring it right here on the Useful Idiot Show.
Yeah, but instead we have some breaking news.
That was a cheap plug, by the way.
That was a good plug. It's not cheap. But right now we have breaking news.
Whoa!
Illinois.
Hey, if only we had like a breaking news like sound effect thing. Yeah, like that. This is good for future reference because they'll remember.
Yeah, instead of just me making all the noises, we'll actually finally get some real noises.
Wait, hold on. Let's try that again. We got some breaking news out of Deerfield, Illinois. Deerfield bands.
Awooga! was that not the right time?
You stopped all my mind. Any momentum I had just ended in a cold, dead stop with the awooga sound there. Man.
Okay, you get back in the character and...
No. Deerfield banned assault weapons.
All right.
They're banned. How about that? That's cold, hard reality on you there.
That is pretty bad.
Yeah, no assault weapons for you. Whatever they deem assault weapons, you cannot have if you live in Deerfield, Illinois.
You don't know this, but they actually changed. Webster Dictionary did change the... Merriam-Webster did change the definition of assault weapons now.
Really?
To anything that looks like...
Anything that looks like it could hurt you.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, anything that looks like a military-style weapon that shoots semi-automatic.
So, just for the record, semi-automatic means one pull, one shot.
Yes. Well, they also have a second definition, but I did forget that one.
At least you remembered one of them.
Yeah, but it is everything else besides the semi-automatic military-looking gun. So, it pretty much covers everything.
So the village of Deerfield decided to ban assault weapons. Unanimously banned assault weapons. And if you have assault weapons in your home or on your person, you could be fined up to $250 to $1,000 per day. And wow, that's pretty hardcore in my opinion. Like, wow.
It's a little overkill.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. They think now their reasoning is that because of all the incidents like at Stoneman Douglas High School and the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, Las Vegas, Pulse nightclub, all these shootings, they think, okay, now they're in Deerfield, right? Deerfield, Illinois. For those of you who don't know, the Useful Idiot Show is based in Illinois, in the mean streets of the Chicago south suburbs. Deerfield, Illinois is a northern suburb, and it is a wealthy area, right? If you live in Deerfield, you're pretty well off, from what I understand. I don't really go there very often. Maybe pass through it a couple times. But let me say, Deerfield, their whole rationale is because of all these shootings that have happened, that if they remove all the guns from the citizens' homes that live there, that they just magically won't have a shooting in their town. I mean,
have they had any shootings in their town?
I mean, I don't know, I have to look that up to be for sure, but I know there hasn't been a mass shooting there.
Yeah, how about this? You keep talking while I'm
All
actually
right,
going to look this up.
you look up Deerfield crime or Deerfield shootings, but I mean, they're taking the guns away from law-abiding citizens for the idea of preventing a mass shooting. Now, what's to stop somebody, even if they're carrying a legal weapon, from driving from another surrounding area into Deerfield and then causing a mass shooting? I mean, there's nothing stop. I mean, Deerfield is not that large of an area. I mean, it's a decent sized area, but it's not that large of an area. You could just drive from somewhere, keep your gun, live somewhere else, keep your gun there, and then drive to Deerfield and then cause havoc. I mean, it seems silly.
It's because it is, Paul.
That was very stone-faced, serious there. I mean, they banned AR-15s, AK-47s, Uzis. Like, I don't think you could go to the store and buy an Uzi now anyway.
I actually think you can.
Can you?
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, in Terminator 1, Arnold Schwarzenegger walks in and he goes, Uzi 9mm.
Yeah, and that was during...
That was before the automatic weapons ban.
Yeah, exactly.
That was in the early 80s.
Which then...
way before your time.
Yeah, way before my time.
Way before your time.
Yeah, you were still an old man at that time, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on just getting my second job at that point in time. No, that's not true. I am not quite that old. So yeah, Deerfield, Illinois, banning assault weapons, but to the rescue of the Second Amendment is the NRA. The evil NRA, if you listen to the high school students.
Bum, bum, bum.
Like David Hogg.
Yeah.
Who we haven't done a show about yet.
That's because I can't listen to him, and I won't.
I know, it's so hard. We haven't done Trump, and we haven't done like the Parkland students at all.
We haven't done Trump in a while.
Man, Trump, there's just too much. Every day there's something new with Trump.
Yeah, because
the media beats it to death.
Yeah, when we covered him before, he was only running for president. Now he is, and it's just too much to take in.
Yeah, like there'd have to be something unique about Trump. I was thinking I should probably bring this up here on the show about doing the Trump versus Amazon story. It's kind of, we'll see if it comes back in the news.
Yeah. It will come back in the news, and we'll be able to touch on it when it does come up.
Yes.
Excitement time.
Yeah, that's what I did. I waited till we were on the show to bring it up.
You knew I couldn't.
Now we have to do a follow up because I said it. Yes, planting the seeds. So the NRA they're going to be suing the village. Actually brought by an organization called Guns Save Life. They're challenging the village of Deerfield's confiscation ordinance. And they're going to be, trying to stop the village of Deerfield from banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. And the Deerfield ordinance, man, they even have stuff on pistols and shotguns. If you look at the ordinance, it's pretty extreme. So there's going to be a legal battle in the mean streets of Deerfield, Illinois.
Yeah, and I can't really be angry at the NRA. The NRA to me is a little.
You seem back and forth on when we were talking off air. You seem kind of back and forth on this whole issue.
I am, and I have. I would. It's very hard.
What are you trying to say?
There's a lot, and it all goes between.
You seem like you were leaning one way, and then when I mentioned they were getting sued by the NRA, you swung another way.
Yeah.
Just looking at your body language, and you're rolling your eyes in your head, and you're pulling out your hair, and all those things.
Yeah. The Constitution gives you the right to defend yourself and to bear arms.
Shall not be infringed.
Shall not be infringed.
A lot of people don't understand it. They just don't care. They don't care what the Constitution says. They just want the guns gone. That's a lot of liberal attitudes that I've been seeing on social media. Exactly.
And it's funny that from my perspective, it's actually that I would believe that a community has the right to ban weapons just from the freedom of being its own small community. But the problem
is, you think the Constitution only applies to the federal government?
No, I think that that's the thing is that
because it's giving you your right as a citizen to own the weapon. The
amendments that are in the Constitution, I'm pretty sure, are actually blanketed over all U.S. citizens. But I believe anything beyond that is to be decided between the communities,
between the states.
And the states, exactly, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be. So that would include
shall not be
infringed. Yeah, we cannot. I cannot say that the Constitution would allow Deerfield to ban assault weapons.
But it said it did mention in this article, I didn't bring it up, that Highland Park has a similar ban, and
I don't care if Highland Park does it. You think that
it held up in court?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't care if it held up in court. The court's wrong.
No, I don't disagree with that. But Deerfield's kind of like, oh well, they did it, so we're gonna do it now too.
Yeah, Mark.
I almost did my.
Mark Levin. Yeah,
Luke LaFair. By the way, I mentioned the last name. Might want to take that out later. But you have a pretty. If you have gotten this far into the show, maybe you're to the right of the aisle, and you maybe have heard the Mark Levin show. Luke does it really, really mean and really over the top. Mark Levin. I don't know if he's ready yet to bring it on the show.
No, I'm gonna keep building it up. This is 2 shows running now.
Yeah, we did talk about it a little bit.
This is the second show. I'm gonna keep on building it up, and then when I do it, everyone's gonna be really let down. That's kind of my plan. My plan is to let everybody down with a subpar Mark Levin.
A subpar Mark. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, because
that's it. Really, that was all.
Because you're doing it pretty good, and
I'm doing like an impression of your impression of
Mark
Mark
pretty
Levin.
Much
it's like a parody of a parody. It's like back in the analog days, if you're copying a cassette and then you're copying the copy, the quality just goes down.
Yeah. Yes.
Same thing with records too, if you know. But
no, not that old.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, I never saw anybody make a copy of a record before.
No.
No, I don't even.
You worked in radio, so I figured that you possibly could have. Something of that
I heard the theory about this that back in the day, a record was pressed and it was like the master copy, and then from the master copy, other records were created. Don't ask me how it all worked. I'd have to go back and read. But
we expect that now.
Follow up on how records are made. Yep. Useful idiots. Thanks. Hey,
we're a jack of all trades podcast.
That's getting me back for the Trump and Amazon thing, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. All right. I have a lot that I could say about this, but it was pretty much said. The Constitution covers, the Second Amendment allows every citizen to the right to bear arms. And I'm going to leave it at that. I don't really have anything else to say about that. I think the court was wrong.
In spite of what liberals will say.
In spite of what liberals say, we can all argue about the principles that we believe in. It does not matter. We have a law we have an actual document that tells us what we can
unless
say.
you're going to amend the Constitution, which I don't want to give them any ideas to amend the Constitution. No, I don't.
They wouldn't even try it.
They wouldn't try it. You know what? I'd like to see
I would like to see that.
Somebody amend the Constitution and for something I wonder what would have to happen. They used to do it back in the day, but
alcohol prohibition was the last time.
No, it wasn't. No, there was.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
last
there
time.
was. No, was it?
Happened twice in a 4 year span.
Man, could you imagine what a time that must have been to be alive?
Right? You actually got to see 2 amendments done.
I mean, now in this era, in the modern era, in 2018, everyone just ignores the Constitution. That's all. That's all it is. Second Amendment? We don't need that.
Yeah, these
Congress to declare war? Oh, screw that. We're gonna go attack somebody.
Yeah, president just makes choices. Or the CIA.
I'm almost going into my Mark Levin. Ooh, I almost had it there.
Yeah, you actually did.
Working on my Mark Levin impression.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing that on your drive home now.
I'm gonna practice. Listen to some clips. And my Mark Levin will be superior to yours.
No, it won't. It'll never be there.
Oh,
My 10 years of Mark Levin.
ooh, 10 years.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
a
that
long
much.
time.
It's almost that much, though. All right, everyone. So we're going to have to end the show off for today. We will touch up on this with more information coming to light. But as for now, I wanted to just thank everybody for tuning in for today's episode. Please be a useful idiot. Subscribe to us on YouTube at The Useful Idiots Show. Follow us on Twitter at Useful Idiots Show. And subscribe and rate the podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to the show. And visit the website at usefulidiotshow.com. And we expect you to tune in to the next episode. Right, Paul?
I didn't know what to say there. You were just on fire.
Bye.